Hi, I'm Charles Luton-Brain, and we're here at the Alberta College of Art in Calgary, Canada. And this segment is about using the flexible shaft to turn, just like on a lathe, both rod and tube. And with the tube, we're also going to be spinning it. So we'll start with the safety glasses. And I have a piece of rod here, so I'm just going to cut an appropriate length from this that I can use. I think probably only about this long. If you get it too long, this can be dangerous, putting things into the flexible shaft. So I'm making sure it's fairly short. I'd say 1.5 inches, about right. When you're a jeweler, you usually don't cut things all the way through. You leave them hanging by a thread so you can snap it just as I did there. And the reason is so you don't have to go hunting for parts. So I've got the flexible shaft in my left hand, the handpiece, and I'm a right-handed person. And I'm going to mount the brass rod in here. And we're going to treat it exactly like a lathe. So I'm going to begin just with a file. And what I have is a lathe. Notice how my thumb is guiding the tool. And just like a chair spindle, we can turn any shape we like. I'm switching to a small needle file here. That'll give me more control. Again, notice how the thumb is guiding everything, controlling what's happening. If I want a curve, I just shape it like this. If I want it smooth, I hold some emery paper while it's spinning. There we go. And if I wanted it polished, I could take a piece of leather or cloth and put some polishing compound on it and actually get this polished at the same time. Now, a file is the exact same thing as a saw blade. It's just that this is very narrow and this is quite wide. So I'm going to take this blade and I'm going to reverse it so that the teeth point upwards, like this. And check it. Yep, that's correct. And I'm going to take my upside down saw blade, and it's going to act exactly like a file. In fact, the saw blade and file are the same object. It's just that one is wide and the other is narrow. Let's go. I think I'll finish my little turning here with the needle file. I'm using a triangular needle file at the moment. And when I think it's about thin enough, and here is the end, it's a lovely little turned spindle, and I can use that for all kinds of things. And with this one here, I'm going to make a rivet, a decorative rivet. So we'll begin just by filing a peg out of this. Jewelers use this type of peg quite a bit. It locates things perfectly. And because it's made on a lathe spinning like this, it's perfectly centered. Sharpen things up with the needle file. And once I'm satisfied with the developing peg and its thickness, notice again how the thumb is your control. I'm going to just file some decorative shapes into this. I'll take my upside down saw blade, sharpen things up. There we go. And at this point, my rivet is almost done. I'm going to put a little cone on the end of it. And if I'm careful, I should be able to just snap that off like that. And so here we have a decorative rivet ready to install on a sheet of metal. I will simply drill an appropriate hole, place this in, rivet the other side, and there we go. One more thing we're going to do with the flexible shaft here is I'm going to spin tubing. So I have a piece of tubing here. I'm going to open up the jaws of the handpiece, insert my tube, close the jaws on the handpiece like that by placing my thumb on the cogs. If I need to do any finishing, now is an appropriate time to do that. There we go, nice fine emery. And I'm going to make sure the end of this is nice and sharp, 90 degrees. That's perfect. I'm going to take, in this case, some round nose pliers. I think we'll start with the round nose. I'll lubricate them. This is sticky beeswax. I could use something like a silicone wax, silicone-based material, like burlap. And I'm now going to begin to spin this tube. There we go, and you can see that it's spinning inwards like that. Go. And so I'm developing basically a bead. I'm going to cut this off using a pair of side cutters, and these will simultaneously cut and also taper. There we go. Good idea not to pick it up immediately. It's rather hot. There we go. Here's our spun tubing. For this other piece, I'm going to use these side cutters, and I'm going to make a small bead with them. Again, we're spinning. I have lubricated the side cutters. There we go. And I'm going to now turn them over and cut the tube at the same time. There we go. And I now have a lovely small bead. There. So that's spinning tubing and turning rod, and it's that easy.